Yeah. Did you get mine?
Yeah, we're good.
We're laughing today on stuttering.tv. My name is Danny.
And I am Greg.
We're having too much fun here. So what story do you have for us, Greg?
Well, I'm thinking about it, and there's a lot of funny stuttering stories, but my favorite one, and I didn't know if I should have talked about this one or not because you might have already heard it, but I've done a lot of traveling, right? And it's always kind of
Yeah.
funny when you do your stuttering in another country because sometimes they're not familiar of is this the way that he speaks? Is he
Been
trying to
there.
speak my language or what? And so I was in Egypt, and it was in 1993. There was just some terrorist attacks on tourists there.
Oh
So
yeah.
tourism went to the toilet, and so their economy was really hurting. So there were these guys that were at all the sites trying to sell all these little uh, souvenirs and trinkets. And to be honest, I wouldn't have wanted to purchase them anyway. But when you're at these places, they literally just surround you.
Yeah.
They're the most aggressive salespeople that I've ever seen. You almost have to like run through them saying no no no, just like this. I mean it's not that they were being rude. They were just desperate. They have a
Yeah.
family and they want to eat too. Um, anyway, so the first thing they'd want you to do is they'd want you to buy their stuff. Now, what they didn't get is that I didn't want to buy their stuff, and that everyone else sold the same stuff. So by the eighth or tenth
Yeah.
guy, it's like not this junk again. Anyway, so you'd try to convince them, no, you're a good guy. I'll even give you $5, but I don't want to buy it. So after that got passed, then they would want to talk to you. Not so much that they really cared about talking with you. I'm sure they were friendly people, but they wanted to use you to practice their English so that when the next group of tourists came, that
Oh.
they would be more equipped. So I'm talking, and we're talking, and I met this one guy who was an electrician who also sold souvenirs. And we're just talking, and he saw me stutter. And back then, I had a lot more secondaries. Not that I don't have now, but I did a lot more then. And there was a lot of like neck tension and oral tension and that whole thing. And so he asked me where I was from, and if I said something like Charlotte or North Carolina, he probably wouldn't know what I was saying. And I was in college up in Chicago, so when people asked me where I was from in Egypt, I would say Chicago, just so they'll be like, okay, yeah, yeah, you
Mhm.
know what I mean. So he asked me that, and I went Chicago, you know, and so he saw
Mhm.
me, and then he started to say Chicago like I was saying Chicago. Oh, I've heard about. And so he started stuttering back, not knowing that it was stuttering. He just thought that that was the way that you're supposed to say it, neck
It's the
tension
secondary.
and secondaries and all. And so then he started to pick up on all of my other secondaries, not just in the word Chicago, but throughout my entire speech. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, geez, what did I just do? So do I stop the guy and tell him, I have the speech deal? Or do I just let nature take its course, have my five
Funny.
ten minute conversation, slap him high fives and split, and let him like show all of his other friends, no, we've been doing it wrong, guys. You're supposed to do it like this.
That
So,
is so cool.
I mean, what do? Do you stop the guy? Do you let him go? It was just an
That's
awkward position.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting because you because I'm trying to picture. No, 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 sir. How do you say stutter in your language?
You know, stutter.
That's funny because yeah. What would you do
Yeah.
in that situation?
Well, and the
Because
tough
on
part.
one hand, you can explain stuttering because maybe they don't know what stuttering is,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
secondaries, um, yeah. If
Well,
you had the time, I mean, if you're like, in line or about to, miss a
yeah.
boat, you can't really do
Yeah.
that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, to be honest, too, at that point in time, I was still kind of still trying to be
Ah,
covert. Although you bloody well know,
that's
I
right.
cannot be very covert. I'm just not capable of pulling it off. So that would have been a good opportunity for some international advertising or desensitization, but
International stuttering friends.
that's right. But
Kumbaya and all that.
it
Yeah.
it didn't happen that day. But there might be like a group of people now in Egypt saying, no guys, you've got it wrong. There's this guy came here in 1993. He showed me how the real Americans talk. More throat tension, neck tension. You have to get blocked and then push through.
He did your secondaries.
And it was.
You know, that has got to be the biggest compliment to stuttering.
Well, and the guy wasn't doing it to be malicious either. He thought
Yeah.
that was the way it should be done. Anyway,
It's part of the dialect.
exactly. He was like, this guy is a real American. Anyway, so that's probably my favorite international funny stuttering story. So, how can we contact us? Where do we go?
Twitter would be a great way.
Wouldn't it be? Isn't that
yeah.
site like an addictive drug?
It's a productivity suck,
That's a good way.
as you called it on one of your episodes. It's great. Just create an account and follow us. Stutter Dude.
Yeah, and I'm at Stuttering Me, so you follow us. We'll introduce you to all the stuttering peeps. There's a lot now, so jump on there.
I know, it's great. But not too many people end up using Twitter after they sign up. Either if they just didn't pick it up, or maybe
it's
they
kind
don't
of
have time,
confusing at first. It has that like hard barrier of entry, because if they follow you, then they'll see half of conversations, and if they follow me, they'll see half of conversations. You have to like follow the core group of people for things to really make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have
But
fun.
it's fun. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You
Ciao.
take care. So stop.